guys, long time no see. I'm sorry I haven't updated my channel in, gosh, almost a year. Lincoln is 14 months old now, doing really good. He's walking all over the place, but he still does not even have one tooth in his head. So that's a little concerning, but the doctor said as long as he gets some teeth by the time he reaches 18 months that we won't have to worry. But if he makes it to 18 months without teeth, I guess then we have to worry. I don't know. Anyhow, so I have some news, which is why I've decided to get back my camera and record some more videos for you guys. I'm sure you can probably guess what the news is. But on Lincoln's 14th birthday, 14-month birthday, I should say, I actually decided to take a pregnancy test and I found out that I'm pregnant. That was quite a shock because I was not trying to get pregnant. I've of course just been focusing on Lincoln and our adopted son Kingston, who's 3. So, I mean, not purposefully trying, but not preventing. You know, always in the back of my mind, I know it's a possibility that I can get pregnant when you're not doing anything to prevent it. But I'm 37 and I just really felt like with how long it took me to get Lincoln, I felt like I was not probably ever gonna have another baby. Surprise! So if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I've had 3 previous losses. Before Lincoln, I had 3 losses in a row. I had one at about 5 weeks. My HCG never got over 33 with that one. Then I had a little boy that we named Jack Thomas, and I lost him at 17 weeks, 5 days. And we don't know what happened. His heart just stopped beating. Then after that, I had another miscarriage at, well, we found out I think about 6 weeks, 5 days that the pregnancy was not gonna last because my HCG was not anywhere where it needed to be. 7 weeks, 2 days is when I started bleeding. I know this because I've kept track of everything throughout my cycles. Holding this, my arm's getting tired, switching arms. So anyway, found out that I'm pregnant again. I went in for a blood draw. My first number was, it came back at 65, and then I went back again 2 days later. My number had went to 190. So it had actually almost tripled. So that was on, my first one was on a Tuesday, my second blood draw was on a Thursday. So Saturday would have been, if I wanted to do 48 hours, would have been Saturday. Well, apparently they don't do the blood draws on the weekends. So I ended up going back on Monday. So on Monday, if my numbers had doubled from 190, doubled and then doubled again, which is what they should have done for 4 days, it would have been 760, and that's just if they doubled exactly evenly. So I just knew that I wanted it to be at least 760. Anything that or higher, I was going to be so happy with. So they called me back, and my number was 1,712. So if you take the 190 that I had and triple it, and triple that number, then that's 1,710, I think. So my HCG is going up pretty fast. So it's a little shocking, but it's a good sign. So I've been taking pregnancy tests like crazy because I can't control myself. I'm just like that. I can't, whenever I'm pregnant, I keep taking tests. Everybody says, you know, once you get your positive, stop testing. The darkness of the test line isn't going to show you anything. It's not going to prove that your HCG is going up. But I know for a fact that when you have more HCG in your system, the line is darker. So I started testing on, let's see, this is November. So November 13th is when I got my first positive. Today is the 21st now? 22nd? Oh my god, I've lost track of time. So I guess I've been testing almost 10 days. It's Thanksgiving. Is it 23rd, 22nd? I don't know what day it is. So anyway, I wasn't happy with the way my Walmart tests were looking. Like, they're getting darker, but I didn't feel like they were getting dark enough. I felt like the control line wasn't, or the test line wasn't coming up as dark as it should after this time frame. But thankfully for me, I had documented with Lincoln, I think. On one of my videos, I looked back and saw a picture I'd taken that it took me like, I think 11 days in a row of testing before I actually beat the control line. So that kind of calmed me down a little bit. I was like, okay, just give it a few more days. Because this was like 5 days ago, I think, that I felt like the test line wasn't dark enough. So anyway, I haven't tested for like 3 days, and I decided to take another test tonight. I haven't done first response for probably 5 days, but I still had 2 Walmart tests left. So it's Thanksgiving. I tried to not test all day long because I didn't want to stress myself out if I felt like the line was lighter. So anyway, I went ahead and tested this evening because I couldn't help myself anymore. And I knew that if it was lighter, that I'd be able to call my doctor in the morning and hopefully they could get me in for a blood draw tomorrow. So I went ahead and tested, and I want to show you what that test looks like. My daughter, Daphne, who's 13 now, she has very great editing skills, so she's going to edit this video for me, and because I'm going to be flipping the camera back and forth, and I don't want to have to show you all the edits, the cuts. So anyhow, I'm going to show you what that test looks like real quick, the full strength test. So I've been using these Equate First Signal one-step pregnancy test, and here is the test that I just took. So on this one, I was pretty happy with it. It came up pretty fast. I guess I remember wrong. I remember the test line coming up really, really dark all of a sudden, and the control line not really catching up to it when you're, when you're beating the control line. But this one, it comes up really fast, but it takes it like 3-4 minutes to get really dark. So, and I actually took this one about 25 minutes ago. I intended to make my video sooner, but so this is my Equate pregnancy test here, and I wanted to do a little experiment because I don't know if you all have heard of the hook effect, but the hook effect is when your HCG gets so high that the test can't read it anymore and it can actually go backwards. So I thought, just for fun, I've got my pee here, I was going to open another test, and you get a little bit of water. What you do is you take a little bit of water and then measure out the exact same amount of urine and water into a different cup. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I think maybe, I don't know, 6 dropperfuls of each one. Okay, and then after you get your droppers in there, I usually just swirl it around a little bit. And this urine was actually kind of diluted. As you can see, it's not very dark. But anyway, just for the heck of it, I'm going to put 4 drops on this last test, my very last test that I have, and just see if it might come out darker than this one. Oh, I don't know, because this one's pretty dark, so we will see. Got my new test ready to go. Going to go ahead and get a dropper full of the 50% water, 50% urine. I've already got it pulled up in there. So now we're going to put 4 drops on in the test window. It really says you only need 3, but I don't know why I always put 4. And I'm actually curious to see if this will come up any darker or if it will be a little lighter. I don't know. And then I'll wait about 10 minutes too and start the video again and just see how much darker it gets over time. I already feel like, I don't know for a fact, but I feel like the one I took with the full strength urine was already darker than this. Maybe not, I don't know. Guess we'll see though. In about 10 minutes we can check and see. See, because this is what it did even with the full strength urine. The test line always pops up lighter, even though it shows up pretty quick. And then it takes it a few minutes to where it actually darkens up to compare to the control line. Sorry if you can hear chaos in the background. My 3-year-old is going crazy. And my 1-year-old, we just got a new puppy earlier, so they're going bonkers right now. All right, well, I'll check back in on this in about 10 minutes or so. And by the way, I am 5 weeks and 5 days along according to my last menstrual period, but I will have my first scan next Tuesday. This is Thursday, so 4 more days. On the 5th day I'll get my scan, so we'll see exactly how far along I am because I have PCOS. My periods are so irregular, but based on my last menstrual period, I'm 5 weeks 5 days along today. Okay, check back in 10 minutes. Okay, so while we're waiting for that test to develop a little bit, I want to go ahead and show you guys a progression of the first response test that I took, and then a progression of the Equate First Signal test that I took. So that if you're curious and you found my video because you're wanting to see what the tests look like on a certain day for how far along you are, you can hopefully get some help by looking at my test. So here we go. Okay, so I'm sorry for the horrible lighting in here, but makes things difficult to record. This is my very first test. Now I'm not exactly sure how many DPOs I was, but I'm guessing right about 12, probably 12 or 13 DPO. This is my first response that I took. So by the next day, mine looked like that. 14 DPO, 16. I waited 2 days to take that, and then finally 18, and I beat the control line for sure on that one. So I stopped using first response at that point, because I figured there was no reason to keep going after that. So then we had the first signal test, or the Walmart test. So my very first signal was like that. I didn't have any the night that I took my first response. I had to go get them the next morning. So 11, 13, again I was about 12 DPO, and 13 DPO, 14 DPO, 15 DPO, getting a little darker, 16 DPO, 17 DPO, 18 DPO. I think I probably did tie the control line on that one. And then I waited 4 days, and this is the one that I just took with my full strength urine, which, oh my goodness, is trying to not be in focus. So that is my progression of the first signal test. So if you're trying to compare your test and see how the progression is going with these tests, then hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight. Now, it's been long enough that I'm going to show you this. This is the one that I diluted the urine 50% with water. So, I mean, it's actually still really dark, even though I diluted it. So here it is next to the one that I didn't dilute. The full strength is on top and the diluted is on the bottom. I don't know. I think that the full strength might look a little darker. What do you guys think? Do you think they're tied? Or do you think the full strength is a little darker? So maybe the hook effect hasn't quite hit yet, but I do think I'm not going to take any more tests after this and just wait for my scan because it's silly. I need to stop testing. I'm a pee stickaholic, as you can see. There's actually a few more furs in between that was only like 12 hours, so I didn't stick those in there because, you know, I don't want to make you think I'm totally crazy.